All right. So this has been a day that a lot of us have waited for a very long time. In 1922, the Virginia General Assembly passed a law, as Chairman Christian Dorsey mentioned, to set up Jefferson Davis Highway. It was to be a transcontinental route from Washington, D.C. all the way to San Diego through the South. Apparently they did not like Lincoln Highway, and they wanted to honor this man. The man who fought his entire life to preserve slavery in the United States. The man who led the fight to divide the nation, brother against brother, in the bloodiest war in American history. A war where more Americans died than all our other wars put together. Some 600,000 combatants, almost 1 million when you include civilians, and all so that he could preserve slavery, so he could preserve a crime against humanity, an atrocity, so he could preserve the right of white men in the South to put stripes on black men if they simply wanted to be free and out from another man's control. The laws that Jefferson Davis fought for were laws that said it was okay to kill a black man that was a slave. And it was okay to rape black women as long as they were white men's possessions. A law that separated children from their families, ripped them from their arms of their moms and dads, and literally sold them down the river, an expression we still use today. The Slavery Trail of Tears began in Alexandria. They were marched down Duke Street, Little River Turnpike, down 66, down 81, all the way to Natchez, Mississippi. 1,000 miles walking with these heavy collars around their necks, chained one to another in something called a coffle. It's not even a word that we use today. Imagine marching 20 miles a day with heavy chains around your neck in the middle of summer, chained to your fellow human being. So if they falter, if they fall, if they get tired, if they get thirsty, you are chained down with them. Many, many died en route. These are the horrors of slavery that happened right here in Northern Virginia. But this man, Davis, was not honored in his time. In fact, he was largely reviled after the war by North and South. No, this sign was named 60 years later, 2 generations after the Civil War in 1922, when most of the veterans of the Civil War had already passed. The purpose of Jefferson Davis Highway was to send a new message. It was to send a message to the African Americans in Virginia and all across the South to know their place. It was a time when just across this river, the Potomac River, in the 1920s, we had the largest march, tens of thousands of white robed Klansmen marching in the streets of Washington, D.C. to broad acclaim. It was a time when lynching was at its peak, a time when Jim Crow laws were at its peak, a time when, despite the 15th Amendment to the United States Constitution that said that African Americans could vote, they weren't allowed to vote in Virginia. All kinds of tricks, right? Poll taxes, literacy tests, grandfather clauses, everything the Commonwealth could do, not just in Virginia, but throughout the South, to deny human equality, to deny human dignity. And this sign wasn't really about Jeff Davis. Like I said, it was 2 generations later. It was designed to tell people, see this and fear. Understand that the Commonwealth of Virginia does not accept you as common citizens. This was a stain placed on this community and communities all across Virginia 100 years ago to celebrate white supremacy, to celebrate persecution. And it lasted up until today. Frankly, way too long. When I first moved here 18 years ago, I was, first embarrassed and then offended by this sign. But for African Americans, for descendants of slaves, this is more than an offense. This is an attack. This is a sign. It's a sign in 2 senses. A sign that people are unwelcome here. Now I know those are not Arlington values today. I don't think they were Arlington values decades ago. But the General Assembly, the body in which I sit, would not make the change. They would not allow us to change the sign through regular legal means. Now it turns out, in 2012, there was a law change that virtually no one noticed that did allow us to make this change. And many of you know that when the General Assembly wouldn't make a new law, I dusted the books off, found that old law, and said, you know what? If we look at this law, we can actually make the change ourselves. I brought my memo to Attorney General Mark Herring. I give him tremendous credit for taking the time to review the memo, to issue a formal advisory opinion that counties like Arlington, and by the way, any other county in Virginia that wants to join us, can pass a resolution asking the Commonwealth Transportation Board to change the signs. The Attorney General issued his opinion in March, the Arlington County Board in April. Right away, unanimously, Chairman Dorsey, Katie Crystal, Libby Garvey, and Matt and Eric came together unanimously to take down the sign. We still have one more hurdle. We had to get to the CTB, the Commonwealth Transportation Board, and I testified there. Some of the rest of you did here too. Unanimously, they voted to take down this sign. And then they said it'd be October. I said, let's get it done earlier. Bingo, they did. It's done in September. So this is a great day for Arlington. This sign does not represent Arlington values. It may have 100 years ago. It certainly does not today. This is a proud, diverse community led by some great leaders, and it was my honor and privilege to do what I could to bring us to this day. Thank you, everybody.